Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is 11:36 a.m. Thursday, October 30, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your coworkers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section, but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the vibes were like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we need to highlight the fact that you haven't seen me since the live streams. Basically, when Melissa was getting ready to make landfall, and we got the backside of the system here in southeastern Jamaica. And as such, I made an update. Basically, a commenter actually, echoed what I was saying. She stated, you're having the same issue as me with no electricity, so no Wi-Fi, phone, data not loading up videos and things properly. It's hard to even get news updates. And I said precisely, and I ensure that I post this to let the people know what's taking place. As a matter of fact, I am still without electricity at my house in St. Thomas. I'm actually at work right now. Work isn't even, going on because I know there are a lot of people who have been affected and they're being cautious or whatever the case may be and maybe just waiting it out. But I came to work nonetheless to use the electricity and the internet here because boy, even last night when I was sleeping, because yesterday was sunny after the system passed. I tell you, last night was so hot and the mosquitoes are crazy. I couldn't sleep. I woke up 2:30 a.m. Could I go back to sleep this morning? Nope. So I just got myself ready and then I left out for work. And I've been here posting since morning. Okay, yes. One of the first things I ensured that I posted was the fact that um hold on was the fact that yeah, we basically just had Melissa soaking Jamaica. So I stated to prevent mosquito breeding, go outside right now and throw away unwanted containers or junk that have collected rainwater. Empty those flower pots and clean out your rain gutters. We don't need malaria or any dengue fever cases, right? No, and we highlighted, an image right here sitting welcome to Portmore and a little animation as well, just to show how big some of these mosquitoes can get and dangerous. So if you haven't seen this post, go and do what it says right now. I'm pretty sure that if you walk in your yard and you take a good look, you're gonna see something in the yard that collected some kind of water. That's what these mosquitoes use to breed up, and then they're a big nuisance in the community. So don't even just do it for yourself. If you're talking to your neighbor, let them know to do the same because these mosquitoes will live from their yard and come over to your yard, and then you're there having a whole mosquito party in your house, and you cannot you know deal with it in general. So yeah, just to prevent it, and some of these mosquitoes carry diseases. So let us try our best to prevent that. On another note, we also need to highlight that today is the anniversary of the earthquake that took place on October 30 in 2023. It states here today in earthquake history, 2 years ago on October 30, 2023, one of the strongest earthquakes on record in Jamaica, a moderate magnitude of 5.6 struck in Hope Bay, Portland, causing panic, damage, and the closure of most businesses and schools. Do you remember this earthquake? And I definitely got some comments since morning from some of our followers highlighting the fact that yes, they do indeed remember this earthquake. We have Purple Lottie stating, I'm still traumatized by this for a month. I felt tremors that weren't there. If I heard a truck pass, I thought it was an earthquake, and this shook me up literally. Highly underscore favorite underscore Cordy sitting. Yes, I remember this. I was visiting the island, felt every shake. One of the strongest I've ever felt. We also have another comment from Jordan that Gaza stating time for invest in some better infrastructure, no excuses. We have Carla, way 84, sitting 2 years already. My life flashed before my eyes that day. Since then, every little jerk me jump. We have Chris underscore Chris stating, I remember this scary times. We also have is underscore meds underscore, sitting. I was at work. Shock would have cost my life because I was still in the building at work. God is good. And we also have Reed Ramona stating, I remember this like it was yesterday. I still sometimes feel as if the place is shaking when it's not. We have I am Kim Rose stating, this traumatized me. I still feel jerks and have an internal panic. Boy, I know that earthquakes don't really have much to do with weather. Weather has to do with, the atmospheric conditions during a time and a place. Earthquake has to do with, the earth and geology and all of those things. But boy, we have to highlight this earthquake. I was at work and trust me, it was terrifying, but I did the drop cover and whole thing at the time when I felt the rumbling, and so did my coworkers. And we, evacuated the building as soon as the shaking stopped, as we are supposed to. So, in the future, if we get another earthquake, please ensure that you do what is expected of you. The moment you panic and then you're running, and then, that's what happens. Some people have things falling on their head while they're running. So try your best to prevent that. All right, so moving on, we need to take a look at the 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook here from the U.S. National Hurricane Center that just came out at 8:52 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's actually 9:52 a.m. Jamaica time. And we're still watching Hurricane Melissa. It is now right here to the northeast of the Bahamas. And we saw it on the infrared from earlier. We have Jamaica right here. We have Melissa right here. Huge, especially considering that she's being stretched out and shared by that trough system that exited the east coast of the earth. But you see it definitely moving away as we speak. And if we take a look back here, as of the latest here from the Hurricane Center, they have stated that it is now moving towards the north northeast at 24 miles per hour. As you can see, that motion, it is moving fast. So you remember it was moving 2, 4, 5. Now it is moving 24 very quickly. And as such, by the early morning hours of Friday, it should have already affected Bermuda, which is now under a hurricane warning in the red. And we can also see the gold that represents tropical storm force winds still extending out to a great deal. Hurricane force winds extending out, as you can see here with the browns. Yes, it is still a hurricane, packing maximum sustained winds of 105 miles per hour. That's basically a category 2 hurricane because that systems that pack anywhere from 96 to 110 and it has 105 now. So it's definitely a category 2 hurricane as we speak, and it should maintain that hurricane status, maybe downgrading back to 1 before it downgrades back to tropical storm status as it pushes towards the northern portion of the North Atlantic. Should be out of here by around Tuesday of next week. We'll see. But as you can see, nothing else to worry about. But we're still in hurricane season, so watch out for some more code yellows. Anything can happen before we head into December, so we definitely have to pay close attention to the tropics. Alright, so we can take a look here at the history of the system. A lot of tropical storm force winds in the gold at first, then as soon as it became a hurricane just to the southeast of us, we started to see the hurricane force wind in the browns, and as such, that was where the hurricane force winds were located across, especially western parishes in Jamaica. So, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, sections of St. Elizabeth definitely got the brunt of the hurricane force winds, while the rest of the island we were getting in on the tropical storm force winds, especially when the system was to our north. People were like, it's to our north now, and we heard that it's a category 4 now, and then people were like, we're feeling the winds now. So are you saying that category 4 is stronger than category 5? No. We're saying that the system is now pushing to the northeast and it's actually making its closest to pass to us here in southeastern Jamaica. So we're actually starting to feel her backside. Okay, so I don't want you to think that a category 4 is stronger than a category 5 because now you were feeling the effects in the evening when the wind was picking up and the power was going out. Okay, I hope you understand. So, as you can see, the tropical storm force winds and the hurricane force winds follow the system all the way through the eastern portions of Cuba into the Bahamas. They definitely got some battering over there, and you can see the line basically highlighting where the system's eye went across. So it definitely made landfall across us and pushed into eastern Cuba and the Bahamas. And you can see the history. We highlighted various satellite images. I mean, look at the system and how it spun. And actually, my goodness, this system was something else. Um, what else is there? We also have, yeah. So we also have, right, hold on there. I think I hear something in my background. Okay. I was wondering what was that. We also have the close up right here. I wonder if anyone remembers the live stream that we had. When we had the live stream, we were looking at the close up, and we did some measuring, and we also looked at the time. I popped out a sheet of paper, and I looked at the speed at which it was at a certain time, and then if anybody remembers, at the end of it all, I stated in the live stream that the storm should be on land by 12. And according to the Hurricane Center, that was the exact time that it made landfall. And remember, there were other people all over the place saying, oh, it would make landfall at 7, 9, 10. And then it actually made landfall the exact time that we stated that it would. I can't believe that that worked. So I need to big up my geography teacher for teaching me this. That was crazy. And so we have the weather channel here confirming that it made landfall at the 12 o'clock time period. All right, so we definitely had a lot of footage. I mean, footage to the point where people are so distraught and traumatized. Like, and the thing is, the footage just keeps coming out more and more. I mean, even as we think that the footage is over, we still keep getting footage. I mean, this just came out from Jamaican Métis and Groupie Pink Wall. Look at this place looking like a whole waterfall. I mean, a whole road, collapsed all the way down. I mean, look at the damage. This just came out, from Pinkwall. We have a lot of footage, so much footage. As a matter of fact, too much footage. They just showed this 54 minutes ago, an hour ago, Westmoreland. And I'm sure we're gonna be seeing some amount of damage here if we continue to push right. Well, it looks like a power grid here, and I'm sure there's damage. Look at that, light post down. So yes, they got it. The Western parishes definitely got it, and we have the footage and the pictures here to show. So if you'd like to see some more of this footage, you can go over to Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, somebody in your house must have Instagram. These are the pages. So we have Pink Wall. I mean, look at this house, this car. As a matter of fact, the house as well buried in dirt. Are you seeing what's happening? Look at the house and look where the dirt reached, because there was a lot of flooding, and as such you have a lot of sand piling or dirt piling up, whatever the case may be. But goodness gracious, that was just a bad situation. I think this one was also going viral, showing that the St. Thomas Anglican Church was badly damaged. That was the church that was a famous church in St. Elizabeth. Okay, not in St. Thomas, it's in St. Elizabeth. And boy, Melissa really damaged the church so badly. It's very sad. We even have a lot of footage coming out of Trelawney. Look at this road leading to a nice house here, and look at the breakaway. Isn't that actually, looking like an accident waiting to happen for this house? My goodness. Another footage right here. Peter's feeling Westmoreland from an overhead point of view, more than likely somebody's drone. And this is from Alexa Nart. We also have another video right here from Rayan Wang. Rayan Wang stating right here. Um, we have Rayan Wang in a video right here. What is this right here? What is happening? Looks like some amount of damage that took place regarding the roof of a house right here, and we also have flooding right here in Montego Bay. I mean, we just have a lot of footage and damage coming out in general. I remember this one. I saw this one before. I went to bed the night of this storm. I think the guy lost his roof at the end of it all. He was in the area between the roof, and then it just all, broke away. All hell broke loose in general. We even have a lot more footage coming out. TVJ News. What else? More footage from TVJ News. Oh yes, highlighting the breakaway there. What is this? Litchfield in South Carolina suffered extensive destruction following Hurricane Melissa. I mean, you can see the footage. You have people talking about their experience. An elderly man from Mayhill, Manchester, narrowly escaped rising floodwaters brought on by Hurricane Melissa. TVJ News has that report if you'd like to see it. I mean, these were the images that really shook me. Like the crazy footages or footage of houses that looked like they were in three-quarter, amount of water all the way up to the roof. The flooding was incredible. Jamaica Observer, we have CVM TV here also highlighting what took place in Newcastle in St. Andrew. They stated where residents are still reeling from the damage left by Hurricane Melissa. A massive breakaway has cut off access, forcing people to walk along the banking of the road to get around the landslide. I mean, look at this. Is that a pro box on its side? That is crazy. What else is there? This is another one from CVM News. Amoy Harriet takes us through Newcastle St. Andrew. I mean, look at the destruction. This is St. Andrew, St. Andrew is over here in the eastern side. It's in Surrey County, and we even had so much damage from the tropical storm force winds. So just to show that we can definitely have damage from these winds, it's not only about the hurricane force winds at all. And as you can see here, another video right here. This is from Sixth Wave. I hope you're taking note of the Instagram pages, because trust me, if you actually go over there, you're gonna be seeing videos or whatever the case being uploaded, most of the times throughout the day. And the thing is, even if you don't have Instagram to see these, most of these pages are also on Facebook, TikTok. They try to spread out their reach with the various social media platforms. So this is an overhead view in Black River. I mean, look at the houses. You're just looking down into people's houses in general because the roofs are gone. I mean, are you seeing it? Are you seeing the footage? The footage is crazy. Roofs are gone. Almost everybody lost their roofs. We spoke about this, We spoke about this. My goodness gracious. What is this right here? Oh no. Really? Thieves break into Knutsford Express in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. My goodness. People. Wow. So we have another page here, Quest Temps Official. So if you'd like to see footage, just go over these, Instagram or other social media pages and see for your own self. All right, so moving on, because if I should go through every footage, the video would be more than an hour long, and I'm trying to hurry up and wrap this up and go home and upload it and go home. So, taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we actually have a cold front right here off the east coast of the US, and we're going to be showing what the temperatures are like over there. But unfortunately, this ridge of high pressure is going to be building and sending a lot of easterly winds to the west starting on Friday. So the easterly winds are going to be coming in with a lot of warm temperatures. So one would think that this cold front is going to be pushing eastward. Unfortunately, all the cool air associated with that cold front will stop right here into Cuba, the Cayman Islands, and Central America, while the high pressure ridge sends back all of the hot air and, well, the warm air back into Jamaica. So no cool air for us. Excuse me. So we have the symbol that represents the hurricane, that is Melissa right here to the northeast of the Bahamas. We actually have a trough right here to the northeast of the Caribbean. Actually, there's also another trough right here that was induced by Melissa. And it is this trough to the east of the island that's actually going to be bringing us some rainfall today and even tomorrow. So if I don't get to post a video later about tomorrow, so you have the forecast for later today, and you have the forecast for Friday as well, just in case I don't get to come to work two times in a row. There's also another tropical wave right here to the east of the Caribbean, affecting portion of northeastern South America. All of these entities, as you know, are being steered from east-west, all courtesy of the ridges of high pressure to the north. And if we take a look at the visible satellite imagery, we can make out all of what we just saw on the surface map. So the clouds associated with the cold front right in here, the clouds associated with Melissa right in here, the clouds associated with the trough that she has induced. So, yes, she induced a trough, and one would think that all of the clouds would suck up into her, but she's about to detach from the trough clouds, and then the easterly winds are going to be pushing those clouds back into us. So we have some rainfall to get on Friday from the trough. Clouds associated with the other trough right here. Clouds associated with that tropical wave right in here to the north of Suriname and French Guiana. And as you can see, we have a lot of clouds right here associated with the intertropical convergence zone. That's where the clouds from, well, the air from the northern hemisphere meets the air from the southern hemisphere, and then we have a lot of clouds forming in general. So I don't want you to think that all of these are tropical waves at all. That's just this one right here. This has to do with the intertropical convergence zone. And the high pressure ridge is sending the tropical wave right here towards the west as usual. All right, so regarding what's taking place right now across the island. So actually, we actually had some clouds pushing in from the west northwest, or from the northwest into actually some western parishes this morning. So we had some overcast skies, if not some isolated thunder showers near St. Elizabeth, near the area that was just impacted. But as you can see, just some clouds pushing in from the northwest. We can see that northwestward flow into Hanover, into Westmoreland right over here. We can see it's mainly partly cloudy for the most part across the central to the eastern end of the island as of this time. The time is now 11:57. Infrared also confirming the thunderstorms that took place just to the west of northwestern St. Elizabeth, but mainly just clouds pushing towards the east with that upper level activity. If we take a look at the latest Jamaican Doppler radar, my goodness, Jamaican Doppler radar site, well, the Met Service site has been glitching out, and when you actually look at the radar, no images. So I don't know if it took damage from Melissa, or if the radar images aren't just being uploaded because maybe there's a power outage or whatever the case may be, or internet outage. But that's the case. And we even have the same issue right here on the Cuban Doppler radar. So when Melissa was crossing over, apparently it might have damaged the pylon radar here, station right here, because it is still glitched out. If we reload it right now, it is still showing October 29 when the system was crossing over. So I'm guessing it stopped working at the time, and no new updates, nothing coming out of it. So we can't even see what's taking place across Jamaica right now. But we have the Guantanamo Bay U.S. Navy radar that is still up and running as of October 30. We don't see much of anything happening across the island right now. We do see some isolated shores though, associated with the trough that's to the southwest of Haiti right here. And we know that it's going to be pushing towards the west on a Friday, so we have some moisture to get. The Cayman radar actually showing that we have some moisture pushing in from the northwest, having to do with the flow from that frontal system, but unfortunately we won't even be getting in on the temperatures associated with that. The live camera right here from See Jamaica's YouTube channel is showing what's taking place across the island right now. So we actually have 4 cameras here, and I am proud to see that See Jamaica jumped from 60 odd thousand subscribers to 102. Our partner there doing good. They had live coverage. We have international stations looking at these live streams straight through the storm. And as you can see, hustling and bustling here and there from the people. Sunny conditions in crossroads, people driving about, going about their business halfway through the same thing. Devon House camera right here, and the Kingston Harbor. Sunny conditions taking place. Nothing to do with bad weather at all right now. But maybe some of that could change later on, and especially on Friday. Let us take a look at the temperatures right now. So 28 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Friday, so in the early morning hours, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius in Kingston. So this is what we were referring to. So because of that cold front off the east coast of the US, there's going to be some cooler than average temperatures coming down for 18th on Friday, which is actually 1 p.m. But not far enough to reach into Jamaica, unfortunately. As I've stated, the ridge of high pressure right here is sending a lot of easterly winds. So you see the easterly winds pushing in from the east on Friday. So all of these yellows into the oranges are going to be coming in, and the yellows into the oranges represents maybe up to 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. Okay, and the blues into the greens represent about 1 to maybe up to 4, maybe 5, 6 degrees Celsius below normal temperature, as expected when it comes to cold fronts. But unfortunately, the ridge of high pressure is going to be sending all of the hot air or the warm air back, so we don't have any cool temperatures to get here in Jamaica at all. Regarding the temperatures across the Caribbean right now, we see right here not really much in the way of high, well, not the temperatures, the waves. We see not much in the way of high waves at all. We see more blues, so 1 maybe to 1.5 meter wave heights, but clearly some high waves in the Gulf and right here to the northeast of the Bahamas. We're talking about purples into the well into the what pinks into the reds into the whites that represents all the way up to the 2 to 9 meter wave heights associated with what Melissa is still churning up to the northeast of the Bahamas. But we see some purples in the Gulf, so that's up to 2 meter wave heights, all courtesy of the winds brought about by the frontal system. We can see the winds we can see the northwesterly winds across the Gulf trying to send that cold front to our direction, but unfortunately, as soon as Melissa starts to lift, we know the ridge of high pressure is going to be building westward, so we're going to be getting on that westerly flow. So it's going to clash a bit, but the ridge of high pressure is going to win and send back all of the winds back to the west, if not northwest. So warm temperatures for us, no cool temperatures at all. And if we take a look here, the temperature forecast or the wind forecast for tomorrow, as you can see, it's going to be changing more from the easterly flow, as you can see in north or northeasterly across the western Caribbean. And regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, as you can see, well, yeah, the wave forecast for tomorrow shows that, well, not for tomorrow, for today. So this is Thursday, okay? So as of right now, these are the waves that are expected: zero point 0.8 of a meter wave height to the north of Portland, zero point 0.8 of a meter wave height to the north of St. Anne, zero point 0.9 of a meter wave height to the north of Hanover, to the south of Westmoreland, 0.7 of a meter wave height to the south of Clarendon, 0.5 of a meter wave height to the south of St. Thomas, 0.8 of a meter wave height. And that is because of the winds that we're experiencing today. So Thursday, we saw the winds pushing the clouds into Hanover, as you can see here. So a northwesterly flow, and look at the south coast. Looks more like a westerly flow, and then pushing into the eastern end, and we see that the least amount of winds are cross section of some central and eastern parishes. So that is where we could have some of these low level clouds piling up and becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds during the afternoon. So daytime heating could bring some rainfall to sections of central and eastern parishes in Jamaica. Let me load up those, because as you know, when it comes to central and eastern parishes, we're referring to, well, for central parishes, we're referring to those parishes in the county of Middlesex for central parishes. So we're talking about St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. Eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, and Kingston and St. Andrew. So we see that's what's going to be taking place as of right now. Up to what, 9 knot winds from the northwest to the north of Hanover, 8 knot winds from the 8 knot winds from the northwest to the south of Westmoreland, to the south of Clarendon right here, 9 knot winds from the west to the south of St. Thomas, 4 knot winds from the southwest to the north of St. Anne here, 8 knot winds from the west. So some weak winds, but that's going to be changing tomorrow. So the winds actually want to come down and give us the cooler than average temperatures in the boat. Unfortunately, the cooler than average temperatures are not going to get here in time, because the winds from the east, from the high pressure, are going to be taking over on Friday. And as you can see, we don't even have much in the way of upper level wind shear across the island. But if we should get some thunderstorms, those cloud tops will be blown off towards the northeast, basically bringing more of the rainfall to the north coast. But as you can see here, this is the rainfall forecast. Keep in mind that the time is now 12:04 p.m. So As you can see, this is valid for 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. So apparently in the next 2 hours, this is what the Euro and the GFS are showing should take place. We see some blues across sections of some especially central to eastern parishes. Although we see some activity across the west on both maps. So could there actually be some rainfall in those areas? We're talking about what looks like northern St. Thomas, Portland, section of St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, maybe section of eastern Westmoreland, maybe section of northern St. Elizabeth, central to northern Manchester and northern Clarendon. We shall see. Then by around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time, well, 6 p.m. Jamaica time. I'm going so fast, I'm saying rubbish. We actually see some rainfall to the north here. We see some rainfall to the south. What does the GFS show? Actually engulfing the entire island from the eastern, well, from the northern and southwestern ends, even over here to the east of us. We'll see how that plays out. Interesting. All right, so regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, so for Friday, you're starting to get in on that easterly flow, so zero point 0.7 of a meter wave height to the north of Portland, zero point 0.6 of a meter wave height to the north of St. Anne, zero point 0.8 of a meter wave height to the north of Hanover, zero point 0.5 of a meter wave height to the south of Westmoreland, and zero point 0.5 of a meter wave height to the south of Clarendon. And that is because of the winds. We see that tomorrow the winds should start coming in from the east again. So what we're used to with the daytime heating, especially bringing rainfall to the west, or if we actually get what looks like a trough to come into the east, we're going to be getting that rainfall across the eastern end. So to the north of Hanover, northeasterly winds averaging 7 knots tomorrow. So to the south of Clarendon, 8 knots from the east. To the south of St. Thomas, averaging 9 knots from the east. And regarding the upper level winds tomorrow, seems to be coming in more like from the east, if not from the southeast. So maybe most of those cloud tops will be shared out to the west. But look at the rainfall forecast. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 6 a.m. Jamaica time. And as you can see, we're seeing some blues represent rainfall coming in from the east. It is this trough right here that we mentioned on the surface map. We see the broken orange lines. That's a trough. And we make out the clouds associated with it right here, affecting Haiti stretching down to the east of us. So that is what's going to bring us some rainfall on Friday according to these rainfall forecast maps. And even as we head into the afternoon, this is valid for 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 12 p.m. Jamaica time. And as you can see, we're going to be getting that on that rainfall extending from the eastern end to the western end. So, section of St. Thomas, Portland, section of St. Mary, Kingston, St. Andrew, maybe northern St. Catherine, section of St. Anne, northern Clarendon, northern Manchester, section of Trelawney, section of St. James, central to northern St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover getting in on some of the action. And you can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS modes are in agreement with that forecast for Friday afternoon at midday. Regarding Friday, well, later on Friday afternoon, so this is valid for 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. So we just looked at midday, now we're looking at 3 p.m. And as you can see, the entire island should be getting on some rainfall on Friday for sure. So we're talking about anywhere from St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, St. Antrilon, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, maybe central to northern Clarendon and central to northern St. Catherine. Kingston, St. Andrew definitely going to be getting on some rainfall on Friday afternoon. Some of this activity could spill into the evening hours, and even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps are showing a lot of rainfall. This is for today, though. Um, from well, is it? No, it's actually for the next 12 to 36 hours. So it's going to incorporate today's afternoon rainfall as well as Friday's afternoon rainfall, okay? Because this map is showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Saturday, November 1 at 0Z, which is actually all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Friday, October 31 at 7 p.m. because no 0Z is actually midnight and that's Zulu time, so they're 5 hours ahead of us. So when you do the calculations, 5 hours before that for us would be 7 p.m. on Friday, October. So this is all the rainfall totals that we see on the Euro. GFS a bit more robust, going up into the yellows, into the oranges. 0.53 of an inch, zero point 0.6 of an inch, 0.68 of an inch of rainfall, especially across the northwest. We'll see it actually plays out, and whatever happens, I will definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. All right, so as stated, we're still in hurricane season, so we need to take a look at the 7 day forecast to see if there's anything being shown within the next 168 hours. Because know that if we look past the 168 hours, that would be unethical. We know that that might not happen. So let us take a look. Keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top. As we go out to the next 168 hours, that stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. So as we move out in time, I'm sure you're going to be seeing um, Melissa push off towards the northeast. But look at this as we head into 7 a.m. Well, let's head to Saturday and go all the way to next Thursday. Because we already looked at Thursday and Friday, so that would be wasting time. So Saturday, 7 a.m., we're still actually getting on some moisture across southern parishes, maybe northeastern parishes too on the Euro. Then on Saturday afternoon, some rainfall across some central and eastern parishes. What does the GFS show for Saturday morning and afternoon? For Saturday morning, some rainfall associated with a trough still affecting the island. So will washing be taking place? What about Saturday afternoon? We see that rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes. What do we see on Sunday morning? On Sunday morning, we're seeing moisture to our west and to our south. What does Sunday afternoon show? Rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show for Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon? Sunday morning, rainfall to our west and to our south. Then on Sunday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. Interesting, we have agreement. What do we see on Monday morning? Monday morning, we're seeing rainfall across the waters to our south, to our east, to our west on the Euro. Then on on Monday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? On a Monday morning, seeing rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. So we have some differences here because the Euro was showing that rainfall to the west and south and east of us. Then, as you can see on Monday afternoon, rainfall is across eastern, central, and western parishes. Interesting. So it looks like we're heading into November with some wet weather. What do we see on Tuesday morning? Tuesday morning, we're seeing rainfall, a lot of rainfall to our west. You see these dark greens into the yellows into the oranges. That's anywhere from 3 all the way up to maybe 8 inches of rainfall. That could be affecting the Cayman Islands or sections of Honduras right there. What do we see on Tuesday afternoon? Some rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes. What does the GFS show for Tuesday? Tuesday morning, rainfall to our west, rainfall to our south. Tuesday afternoon, rainfall across some southern and eastern parishes. What do we see on Wednesday morning? On Wednesday, well, it looks like it's going to stop right here because I think this is how far out the 6-0 run of the Euro goes. No problem, so I guess we're just going to be stopping it at the end of the 144 hours right here. Okay, so not really much at the end of it all, but in terms of the totals, the rainfall totals for the next 144 hours, we see that clearly there's going to be a lot of rainfall across the waters to our west, maybe associated with a trough. Trough going to be bringing some flood rainfall to section of the Cayman Islands into sections of the Central America region because we're seeing the dark reds into the purples, purples and the pinks right here. So that could mean anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rainfall to the west of us. We see that on the Euro for the next 144 hours. That stands for the next what? About the next 5 to 6 days, I think. In terms of what the GFS is showing, we see the very area shaded in the same amount of rainfall total. Jamaica shaded in the red. We're talking about an inch of rainfall or less. It could be a bit more in some isolated spots. We'll see how it goes. I mean, look at the GFS, even getting up into the slight blues. That represents up to 10 to 12 inches of rainfall in the portion of northwestern Panama, coastal Costa Rica, and coastal Nicaragua. So some flash flooding could definitely take place. All right, so we usually show um what's happening across the rest of the Caribbean, as well as the Eastern Pacific and the Western Pacific and Indian Ocean. But boy, as you can see, I'm not using my usual computer. You're not even hearing this audio that well. Not the a decent mic. I don't have a decent mic here. And if I try to load beyond this, I'm not gonna be able to see anything. So I guess I'm gonna end it right here. Thank you all for watching. That's it for today. Stay safe.